So in my day job, I work in construction, and like a lot of industries right now, we're having a hard time filling our vacancies. We just can't get people to apply and fill our jobs. And I realized we're having some trouble filling a position right now in engineering, and part of the problem is our HR department has done a really terrible job of screening applicants. But on the bright side, I got to have an interview with somebody who worked at Starbucks as a beverage engineer. So I told my HR department, stop using your screening software. I'll take all the resumes. I'll just interview everybody. I figured, worst comes to worst, I'll at least get some material for my stand-up. And they did not disappoint. One person I interviewed, I asked him, tell me what would your most recent supervisor say about your work ethic? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing because of where we are here, he said, that SOB can kiss my you-know-what. I came to work every day and I did my job and I don't give a expletive what he says about me. So that was a pass. Somebody else I interviewed, I said, tell me about a time you worked on a team. And he said, well, I used to work at a bar, and one time everybody called in sick, and I had to pour the drinks, make the food, wait the tables, run the register, and do the whole thing by myself. This person was a team of one. And not somebody I wanted on my team. Somebody else I interviewed, I said, tell me about a time you worked with somebody from a different culture. And he said, well, I had an office potluck and I was in charge of bringing the bacon. And we've got a couple of Muslims in my office, and those Muslims, they can't eat bacon. And admittedly, that's not a terrible answer. I helped him out a little bit. I said, so did you bring turkey bacon to be inclusive? And he said, oh no, I brought the real stuff. That's their problem, not mine. So that one was also a pass. Someone else, I said, tell me your strengths. And they said, I'm hardworking, punctual, I show up to work on time, and I work hard. He forgot good with a thesaurus. The next person I interviewed answered that question a little better. I said, tell me your strengths. He said, I perform under pressure well. I thought that was a good answer. I said, can you give me an example? And he goes, bum 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 ba-da-da-dum. Bum 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 ba-da-da-dum. Bow bow. And I gotta admit, after that Queen rendition, he was winning me over. And so I said, how about your weaknesses? And he said, I'm just too honest. And I said, I don't really think that's a weakness. And he said, and I don't really care what you think. Another person I interviewed, the whole interview, there's something creepy about this person I just couldn't quite put my finger on. And then at the end of the interview, I said, do you have any questions for me? And he said, yeah, I do have a question for you. Do you guys do a background check? Uh-oh. And I said, yeah, we do a background check. And he said, okay, just so you know, there's a person who used to live in Wisconsin that has the same name as me, and they're a registered sex offender. And I thought, for context, this person had a very uncommon last name. And so what are the odds we had somebody with the same first name and the same uncommon last name with 2 X's on it? Also, did you catch when I said he used to live in Wisconsin? And so if I had to guess where this offender lives now, his current address was on the resume in front of me, but I can't be certain. Either way, that was a pass. I had another person show up to their Zoom interview in a hammock. Again, I'm looking for folks to work in construction, so I thought, this person at least wants to be outside. This person happened to be an artist, and they had experience doing concrete sculpture, which is a little applicable. I asked him the obvious question, why do you want the job? And he said, well, I'm a pretty good artist, and I can draw most things except for a salary. So I decided to give Mr. Artist a chance. First day of work, my artist shows up at 7:30, and I said, "Hey, you should have been here at 7." He said, "Why? What did I miss at 7?" Your start time. I sent my artist into the field. We had just finished pouring a block of concrete sidewalk, and I said, "I want you to measure how much sidewalk we had just poured. That's what we get paid for." And he came back and he said, "Well, we did 13 yards of concrete." And it was an entire city block, and I said, "That can't be right. How did you figure 13 yards?" And he said, "Well, there's 13 houses on the block and 13 front yards, and each one has new concrete in front of it." But I will say about my artist, he's eager to learn and willing to help out. And those two skills will get you far no matter where you're doing, no matter where you work. So I'm working on my computer. I'm working on an Excel spreadsheet, and he comes over and says, "Hey, what are you working on?" And I said, "Oh, I'm working on a spreadsheet here. I'm crunching these numbers, trying to draw conclusions." And he said, "Can I help?" And I said, "My God, yes, you can help." And he said, "Great. Do you want me to draw them with pencil or pastel?" So I've been working from home quite a bit. Round of applause if you're also working from home. Anyone else here? A couple of folks? All right, I got a working from home tip for you. If you're working from home and feeling stressed out, just press F5 on your keyboard. If you don't believe me, you should try it. You can find it refreshing.
Oh.
My wife and I had to get a new printer working from home. We nicknamed our printer Bob Marley, not because it prints at a pace that makes you think it's living that slow, relaxed reggae lifestyle, but because the damn thing always be jamming. I was telling that joke to a friend of mine, and he's a one-upper. You know the type, I was going to best your story by one. If you're so hungry you can eat a horse, they've already eaten two. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I've got a 3D printer at home, and I can print a gun." I said, "Oh yeah, Mr. One-Upper, I've got a Canon printer." That same guy, Mr. One-Upper, and I, we were hanging out with a friend of ours. He'd just gotten back from the Middle East. He was in deployment. He was telling us a story of when his Jeep hit a roadside bomb and got blown up. He was okay. He didn't suffer any injuries, but I think we can all agree this was a bad day at work. And Mr. One-Upper looks at him and goes, "Oh yeah? You ever work at Walmart?" You guys have been a great audience. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause.